The Banshee is a supernatural entity with a single purpose, being the forewarning of impending death. The origins of this entity date back to times when traditions were passed down orally rather than written down. Because of her nature, the Banshee is always seen as a female entity. The impact of her presence and its meaning were of far greater import than her origins. In some stories, she is revealed as a fae being, but this is only seen in unreliable sources. Most prevalent is the concept of her as a solitary being whose only correlation to humans is the connection of death. The Banshee is woven into the fabric of Ireland so deeply that she is one of the few ancient vestiges of pagan tradition which were able to transition into the Christian era.
There are many names for the being called the Banshee. In County Carlow, County Wexford, and the southern parts of County Wicklow and County Kildare, she is known as the Bow, with the Irish being Bow Chuinte. In County Limerick, County Tipperary, and parts of southwestern County Mayo, she is called Ban Chuinte, which is a correlation to her human counterpart, the Keening woman. In parts of County Laois, County Kilkenny, and County Tipperary, the entity is known as the Boshinta, although in Irish the name Bive or Bow is not unique to the area. In County Waterford, she is called the Bibe, which is in Irish Bive. There is one name used throughout Ireland which is prevalent even in areas with other names, meaning otherworldly woman. The Irish Banshee has been anglicised to the term most widely known today.
The cry of the Banshee is said to be heard when someone dies or is about to die. It is also said that the cry is not heard by the person who is about to die. The manifestation of the Banshee is not just oral, she has visibly appeared to people before. In everywhere except for County Cork and County Kerry, the Banshee manifests visually and orally. She is seen as bearing the sorrow and grief of death impending. In most areas, she is seen to be non-violent and display human-like behavior. In areas of southeast Ireland, she is depicted as aggressive or dangerous, most likely influenced by her name Bive. Her wail is said to be comprised of inarticulate sounds and isolated interjections. Her voice is said to be thinner than human, and that it conveys a sense of loneliness and sorrow to depths that human hearts cannot sustain. Many say that her sound is indescribable, and comparisons are often made to the human Keening woman, children, or the sounds of mating cats or howling dogs. Very rarely she is compared to the calls of birds. She is described using such terms as cry, lament or wail, screech, and or roar. The first two are often used in her human-like aspect, the latter two when discussing her aggressive representation. There are many legends surrounding the Banshee. She is an ancestress spirit, the spirit of some of old Celtic land and sovereignty goddesses, and she is seen as a washerwoman. Folk tradition connects many aspects of the Banshee to its land goddesses and their actions. The century tale Tain Bofrec speaks of how impending death of a hero was announced by the cries of an otherworldly woman, like his mother, who was the sister of the tutelary goddess of the river Boyne. In the Battle of Clontarf in 1014, the goddess Ifal announces the death of Brian Boru, she being the protectress goddess of his sept in County Clare. In another 17th century poem, the goddess Anya proclaims the death of a member of the Fitzgerald family, of which she was the territorial goddess and ancestress. The story of the Banshee as a washerwoman harkens back to her connection to the war goddess Bive, an aspect of the triplicate goddess of Morrigan. In tales from medieval and early modern Irish, the Bive forebodes the death of warriors by washing their blood-stained garments. This specifically connects to a story out of County Galway's 20th century oral traditions telling the Battle of Arbram in 1691, where a washerwoman was seen bathing clothes on the eve of the battle. The connection of the Banshee to certain families is well known. This connects back to the notion of the Banshee being a protectress. This aspect of her has gained more prominence after the Second English invasion under the Tudors and subsequent Cromwellian oppression. The Banshee is seen to only connect herself to the true Irish families. She would often appear to bemoan the coming death of the patriarch of these families. This led people to believe that their Banshee was most likely an ancestress. This also correlated to the belief that the true Irish kings were married to their lands, and thus their land's protectress spirit or goddess. After the lands were taken from the Irish nobility and the lands were flooded with English settlers, a couplet emerged to discern the true Irish from the descendants of the oppressors.
Per mac atque o tu verso conoscis hibernos, is duobus temptus nullus hibernos adest.
The English translation for this is, by Mac and O you'll always know, true Irishmen they say, but if they lack both O and Mac, no Irishmen are they. Hollywood has taken this legend and adapted it many times in order to gain a profit. However, the Banshee is not accurately depicted in most of these films. More information about the Banshee can be found in a pocket book of the Banshee written by Dr. Patricia Lysick. She is currently head of the subject Irish Folklore at University College Dublin, and many consider her to be an expert concerning the legends of the Banshee. It is our hope that this documentary pays tribute to her research. Overall, the Banshee has been a very important figure in Irish culture and folklore, which is why it is so important that she be studied. Thank you for listening.